Imagine waking up one day and realizing that everything around you, your job, your relationships, your entire life, is a perfect reflection of what's inside you. Sounds crazy, right? But what if I told you this is exactly how our world works? This idea, my friends, is the key to changing your life in ways you never thought possible. It's not about learning some secret trick or buying a magic solution. It's about understanding a simple truth that's been right in front of us all along. Today, we're going to explore how to change your life spiritually, and trust me, by the end of this journey, you'll see the world and yourself in a whole new light. Let's start by breaking down what we mean by spiritual change. Now, don't worry, we're not talking about anything super complicated or out there. Spiritual change is simply about growing as a person, becoming more aware of yourself and the world around you. It's like upgrading the software of your mind and heart. Think of it this way. You know how sometimes you look back at your younger self and think, wow, I've really grown since then? That's spiritual change in action. It's about becoming a better version of yourself bit by bit, day by day. It's not about being perfect, nobody is. It's about growing, learning, and becoming more in tune with who you really are and what really matters to you. Why is this important? Well, let's use a simple example. Imagine you have a garden. If you never tend to it, never water the plants or pull out the weeds, what happens? It gets overgrown and messy, right? Our inner world, our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs is a lot like that garden. If we don't take care of it, if we don't nurture the good stuff and weed out the bad, our life can start to feel overgrown and messy too. But here's the exciting part. When you start to make these inner changes, when you start tending to your inner garden, amazing things begin to happen in your outer world too. Your relationships might improve, you might feel more confident at work, you might even start to see opportunities you never noticed before. It's like putting on a pair of glasses for the first time and suddenly seeing the world in sharp focus. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds great, but how do I actually do it? Don't worry, we're going to get into all of that. The important thing to remember is that spiritual change is a journey, not a destination. It's something we work on every day, little by little. And the best part? You can start right now, right where you are. All right, now that we understand what spiritual change is, let's talk about one of the most powerful tools we have for making that change: our beliefs. Our beliefs are like the invisible force that shapes our entire world. They're the lens through which we see everything, and they have a huge impact on our lives, often in ways we don't even realize. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine two people applying for the same job. The first person believes they're not good enough and probably won't get hired. The second person believes they have a lot to offer and feels confident about their chances. Who do you think is more likely to get the job? Even if they have the exact same qualifications, the person who believes in themselves is probably going to perform better in the interview, come across as more confident, and have a better shot at landing the job. This is the power of beliefs in action. What we believe about ourselves and the world around us has a huge impact on how we act, how we present ourselves, and even the opportunities we notice or take advantage of. But here's the really interesting part. Many of our beliefs aren't even our own. A lot of them are things we picked up from our parents, our friends, our teachers, or society in general. It's like we're walking around with a backpack full of other people's ideas about how the world works and who we are. The good news is, once we realize this, we can start to change it. We can start to look at our beliefs and ask ourselves, is this really true? Is this belief helping me or holding me back? Here's a little exercise you can try right now. Think about something you'd like to change in your life. Maybe you want to start a new career, improve your health, or find a loving relationship. Now pay attention to the thoughts that come up when you think about this goal. Do you hear a little voice saying things like, "That's not possible for someone like me," or "I'm not good enough for that"? Those are beliefs, and they're shaping your reality. But what if you could change those beliefs? What if instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough," you started to believe, "I have unique talents and I'm learning and growing every day"? How might that change the actions you take and the opportunities you see? This is where the real magic of spiritual change begins to happen. As we become more aware of our beliefs and start to shift the ones that aren't serving us, we start to see changes in our outer world too. It's like we're reprogramming the software of our mind, and suddenly the world starts responding differently. Now, I want to be clear. Changing your beliefs isn't always easy. These are ideas we've often held onto for years, maybe even our whole lives. But it is possible, and it's one of the most powerful things you can do to change your life spiritually. Start by paying attention to your thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking something negative or limiting, pause and ask yourself, is this really true? Where did I learn this belief? How would my life be different if I believed something more positive? Remember, you don't have to change everything overnight. Just becoming aware of your beliefs is a huge first step. And as you start to challenge and change those beliefs that aren't serving you, you'll be amazed at how your life begins to transform. In the next part of our journey, we're going to explore how to connect with your inner self, the part of you that knows what you really want and need beyond all these beliefs and ideas we've picked up along the way. This connection is key to making lasting spiritual change and creating a life that truly fulfills you. So stick around, because things are about to get really interesting. Now that we've talked about the power of beliefs, let's dive into something really exciting, connecting with your inner self. But what exactly do we mean by inner self? Well, think of it this way. We all have a part of us that's deeper than our everyday thoughts and worries. It's the part of you that knows what truly makes you happy, what you really want in life, and what your unique gifts are. Some people call it their soul, others call it their intuition or their true self. Whatever name you give it, connecting with this inner part of you is like finding your own personal compass for life. So why is connecting with your inner self so important for spiritual change? Well, imagine you're trying to navigate through a dense forest. You could wander around randomly, hoping to find your way out. Or you could use a compass that always points you in the right direction. Your inner self is like that compass. When you're connected to it, you have a much clearer sense of which way to go in life. You make decisions that are truly right for you, not just what others think you should do. But here's the thing. In our busy, noisy world, it's easy to lose touch with this inner self. We're so busy responding to emails, scrolling through social media, and trying to keep up with our daily responsibilities that we often don't take the time to listen to our own inner voice. It's like trying to hear a whisper in a room full of people shouting. So how do we start to reconnect with our inner selves? Well, the good news is that it's simpler than you might think. One of the easiest ways to begin is by simply taking a few minutes each day to be quiet and listen to yourself. This doesn't have to be complicated meditation or anything fancy. Just find a quiet spot, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths. Then, just pay attention to what's going on inside you. What thoughts come up? What feelings do you notice in your body? At first, you might just notice a lot of random thoughts or worries. That's totally normal. Our minds are often pretty busy places. But if you keep practicing this, even for just a few minutes each day, you'll start to notice something interesting happening. You might start to have moments of clarity where you suddenly understand something about yourself or your life. Or or you might get a strong feeling about a decision you need to make. These are all signs that you're starting to connect with your inner self. Another great way to connect with your inner self is through journaling. Don't worry, you don't have to write a novel. Just take a few minutes each day to write down your thoughts and feelings. Ask yourself questions like, what do I really want in my life right now? Or, what's bothering me that I haven't been paying attention to? Then, just write whatever comes to mind, without judging or censoring yourself. You might be surprised at the insights that come up when you give yourself this space to explore your inner world. Nature can also be a powerful way to connect with your inner self. There's something about being outside, away from all our usual distractions, that helps us tune into our deeper selves. Try taking a walk in a park or sitting by a tree and just notice how you feel. Many people find that they can hear their inner voice more clearly when they're in nature. Now, I want to share a simple but powerful exercise you can try right now to start connecting with your inner self. It's called the 3 questions exercise. Here's how it works. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed for a few minutes. Take a few deep breaths to help yourself relax. Then ask yourself these 3 questions. What am I feeling right now? What do I need right now? What's one small step I can take to give myself what I need? Take your time with each question. Really listen for the answers that come from deep inside you, not just your usual thoughts. You might be surprised at what comes up. The beauty of this exercise is that it helps you tune into what's really going on inside you, beyond all the noise of daily life. And by asking about a small step you can take, it connects you with your power to make positive changes in your life. Remember, connecting with your inner self is a skill, and like any skill, it gets easier with practice. Don't get discouraged if it feels difficult at first. Just keep showing up, keep listening, and keep being curious about what's going on inside you. Over time, you'll find that this connection becomes stronger and clearer. As you start to connect more with your inner self, you might notice some interesting changes in your life. You might find it easier to make decisions because you have a clearer sense of what's right for you. You might feel more confident because you're more in tune with your own values and desires, and you might start to feel a deeper sense of peace and contentment because you're living in a way that's true to who you really are. This connection with your inner self is really the foundation of all spiritual growth. It's what allows you to navigate life's challenges with more wisdom and grace. It helps you make choices that are truly right for you, not just what others expect. And it connects you with a deep sense of purpose and meaning that can transform your entire life. So I encourage you to start exploring this connection with your inner self. Take a few minutes each day to be quiet and listen. Try the 3 questions exercise, write in a journal. Spend time in nature, whatever feels right for you. Remember, there's no right or wrong way to do this. The most important thing is simply to start and to keep showing up for yourself. As we continue on this journey of spiritual change, we're going to explore more ways to deepen this connection with your inner self and use it to create positive changes in your life. We'll look at how mindfulness can help you stay connected to your inner wisdom throughout your day. We'll explore the power of gratitude to shift your perspective and open you up to new possibilities. And we'll talk about practical ways to bring all of this into your daily life. But for now, I want you to remember this. You have a deep well of wisdom and strength inside you. It's always there, waiting for you to tap into it. By learning to connect with this inner self, you're taking a huge step towards creating a life that truly reflects who you are and what you want. You're embarking on an incredible journey of self-discovery and growth. And trust me, the view from where you're heading is absolutely beautiful. Now that we've explored connecting with our inner selves, let's talk about a powerful tool that can help us maintain that connection throughout our daily lives: mindfulness. Don't worry if you've heard this word before and thought it wasn't for you. Mindfulness is actually much simpler and more practical than many people realize. So, what exactly is mindfulness? At its core, mindfulness is simply the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about being aware of what's happening right now, in your body, in your mind, and in your surroundings, without getting caught up in worries about the future or regrets about the past. Think of it this way. How often do you find yourself doing one thing while your mind is somewhere else entirely? Maybe you're eating lunch but thinking about a work deadline, or you're in a conversation with a friend, but your mind is running through your to-do list. This divided attention is the opposite of mindfulness. When we're mindful, we're fully present in whatever we're doing. Now you might be wondering, okay, but how does this help me change my life spiritually? Well, mindfulness is like a gym for your spiritual muscles. Just like regular exercise makes your body stronger and more flexible, practicing mindfulness makes your mind more aware and resilient. It helps you notice your thoughts and feelings without getting swept away by them. This awareness is crucial for spiritual growth because it allows you to see more clearly what's really going on inside you and around you. Here's a simple example of how mindfulness can make a big difference. Imagine you're stuck in traffic and feeling frustrated. Without mindfulness, you might get caught up in angry thoughts, tensing your body and making yourself more and more upset. But with mindfulness, you might notice your frustration arising, take a deep breath, and realize that getting angry won't make the traffic move any faster. You might even use the time to practice some deep breathing or listen to some music you enjoy. Same situation, but a completely different experience. The beauty of mindfulness is that you can practice it anywhere, anytime. You don't need any special equipment or to set aside hours of your day. You can be mindful while washing dishes, taking a walk, or even during a busy workday. It's all about bringing your full attention to whatever you're doing in the moment. Take a moment to sit comfortably and close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths, really focusing on the sensation of the air moving in and out of your body. Now, for the next minute, simply pay attention to your breath. Don't try to change it, just notice it. When your mind wanders, and it will, that's totally normal, gently bring your attention back to your breath. That's it. You've just practiced mindfulness. It's that simple. Of course, like any skill, it gets easier and more natural with practice. The key is to do it regularly, even if it's just for a minute or 2 at a time. As you incorporate more mindfulness into your life, you'll likely start to notice some changes. You might find that you're less reactive to stress and more able to respond thoughtfully to challenges. You might become more aware of your habitual thought patterns and behaviors, which is the first step in changing them. And you might find that you're more able to enjoy the simple pleasures of life, the taste of your food, the feeling of sunshine on your skin, the sound of a loved one's laughter. Remember, mindfulness isn't about clearing your mind of all thoughts or achieving some perfect state of calm. It's simply about being present and aware, whatever is happening. And that awareness is a powerful tool for spiritual growth and positive change in your life. Now that we've talked about mindfulness, let's explore another powerful practice that can transform your spiritual life: gratitude. You've probably heard people talk about the importance of being grateful, but have you ever stopped to consider why it's such a big deal? Well, get ready, because practicing gratitude can literally change the way you see the world and yourself. So, what exactly do we mean by gratitude? Simply put, Gratitude is the practice of noticing and appreciating the good things in your life. It's about focusing on what you have rather than what you lack. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but what if things in my life aren't going well? What if I'm struggling? That's a totally valid question, and here's the amazing thing about gratitude. It works even, and sometimes especially, when times are tough. You see, gratitude isn't about pretending everything is perfect or ignoring the challenges in your life. It's about training your mind to notice the good things that are always there, even when they're hard to see. It's like developing a new muscle. The more you practice looking for things to be grateful for, the easier it becomes to spot them. Why is this so powerful for spiritual growth? Well, think about it this way. Have you ever noticed how, when you're in a bad mood, everything seems to go wrong? You stub your toe, you spill your coffee, the traffic is terrible. But when you're in a good mood, you hardly notice these little annoyances, or they don't bother you as much. That's because what we focus on tends to expand in our awareness. Gratitude works the same way. When you start regularly noticing and appreciating the good things in your life, you start to see more and more of them. It's not that more good things are necessarily happening, although they might. It's that you're training your brain to notice the good things that were always there. This shift in focus can have a profound effect on your spiritual life. It can help you feel more connected to the world around you, more aware of the beauty and goodness that exists even in difficult times. It can help you feel more content with what you have, rather than always striving for more. And perhaps, most importantly, it can help you develop a sense of trust and optimism about life, a feeling that good things are possible and that you have the strength to handle whatever challenges come your way. So, how do you start practicing gratitude? The good news is, it's super simple. Here's an easy gratitude practice you can start right now. Every day, take a few minutes to think of 3 things you're grateful for. They can be big things, like your health or your family, or small things, like a delicious cup of coffee or a beautiful sunset. The key is to really feel the gratitude, not just list things off. Take a moment to really appreciate each thing you're grateful for. You can do this practice first thing in the morning to start your day on a positive note, or at night before bed to end your day with gratitude. Some people find it helpful to write their gratitudes down in a journal, while others prefer to just think about them. There's no right or wrong way. Do what feels best for you. Here's a little tip. Try to come up with new things to be grateful for each day. This helps you stay present and really notice the good things in your life rather than just going through the motions. As you start practicing gratitude regularly, you might be surprised at how it changes your perspective. You might start noticing more good things throughout your day. You might find yourself feeling more positive and optimistic, and you might even start attracting more positive experiences into your life. One of the most powerful aspects of gratitude is how it can shift your focus from what you lack to what you have. In our consumer-driven society, it's easy to always be focused on what we don't have: the new car we want, the bigger house, the better job. But this constant focus on what's missing can leave us feeling perpetually unsatisfied. Gratitude flips this on its head. It helps us appreciate and enjoy what we already have, which can lead to a much deeper sense of contentment and fulfillment. Gratitude can also be a powerful tool during difficult times. When you're going through a tough period, it can be hard to see anything positive. But if you make an effort to find even small things to be grateful for, it can help shift your perspective and give you the strength to keep going. Maybe you're grateful for a friend who's supporting you, or for your own resilience in facing challenges. These moments of gratitude can be like little lifelines, helping you stay afloat in stormy seas. Remember, practicing gratitude doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about balancing our awareness, making sure we're not just focused on what's wrong, but also noticing what's right. It's about recognizing that even in imperfect situations, there are things to appreciate and be thankful for. As you continue on your journey of spiritual growth, I encourage you to make gratitude a regular part of your life. Start with the simple practice of noting 3 things you're grateful for each day. As it becomes a habit, you might find yourself spontaneously noticing things to be grateful for throughout your day. And don't be surprised if you start feeling more positive, more content, and more connected to the world around you. That's the magic of gratitude in action. As we continue our journey of spiritual growth, we come to a crucial step: learning to let go of negativity. Now, I know what you might be thinking: easier said than done. And you're right, letting go of negative thoughts and feelings isn't always easy, but it's an essential skill if we want to create real, lasting change in our lives. First, let's talk about what we mean by negativity. Negativity can show up in our lives in many ways. Negative thoughts about ourselves or others, holding on to past hurts or resentments, worrying excessively about the future, or constantly focusing on what's wrong in our lives. These negative patterns can become so familiar that we hardly notice them anymore. It's like we're wearing dark glasses all the time, and everything we see looks gloomy. The problem with holding on to negativity is that it affects everything in our lives. It colors how we see the world, how we treat others, and how we feel about ourselves. It can drain our energy, dampen our enthusiasm, and hold us back from pursuing our dreams. In short, negativity can be a major roadblock on our path to spiritual growth and happiness. But here's the good news: we have the power to change this. We can learn to recognize negative patterns in our thoughts and feelings, and we can develop skills to let them go. This doesn't mean we'll never have negative thoughts or feelings again. That's not realistic or even desirable. Negative emotions like sadness or anger can be appropriate responses to certain situations. The goal is to not get stuck in negativity, to be able to process difficult emotions in a healthy way and then move forward. Recognize negative thoughts. The first step is becoming aware of your negative thoughts. Often, we're so used to our thought patterns that we don't even notice them. Start paying attention to your inner dialogue. When you catch yourself thinking something negative, just notice it without judgment. You might even want to say to yourself, "Oh, that's an interesting thought," as if you're observing it from a distance. Challenge negative thoughts. Once you've noticed a negative thought, ask yourself if it's really true. Often, our negative thoughts are exaggerations or assumptions that don't hold up under scrutiny. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "I always mess things up," ask yourself if that's really accurate. Can you think of times when things went well? This doesn't mean forcing yourself to think positively, but rather questioning the accuracy of overly negative thoughts. Practice self-compassion. Often, we're much harder on ourselves than we would be on a friend. When you're dealing with negative thoughts or feelings, try treating yourself with the same kindness you'd show to a good friend. Instead of beating yourself up, offer yourself words of comfort and encouragement. Use the let it go visualization. This is a simple but powerful technique. When you notice yourself holding on to something negative, imagine that you're holding on to a balloon. Now, imagine yourself gently opening your hand and letting the balloon float away. As you do this, take a deep breath and say to yourself, "I'm letting this go." This physical visualization can help make the abstract idea of letting go more concrete. focus on the present moment. Often, negativity comes from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. When you find yourself caught in negative thoughts, try bringing your attention back to the present moment. Use your senses. What can you see, hear, feel, smell, or taste right now? This can help break the cycle of negative thinking and bring you back to the here and now. Practice forgiveness. Holding on to grudges or resentments is like carrying around a heavy backpack full of rocks. It weighs you down and holds you back. Learning to forgive, both others and yourself, can be incredibly freeing. This doesn't mean condoning harmful actions, but rather choosing to release the negative emotions associated with past hurts. Express gratitude. Remember our discussion about gratitude? It's a powerful antidote to negativity. When you're feeling negative, try shifting your focus to something you're grateful for. This can help balance out negative feelings and remind you of the good things in your life. Remember, letting go of negativity is a process. It's not about never having negative thoughts or feelings, but about learning to recognize them, process them in a healthy way, and then let them go instead of holding on to them. It's like learning any new skill. It takes practice and patience. As you work on letting go of negativity, you might start to notice some changes in your life. You might find that you feel lighter, like you've put down a heavy burden. You might notice that you're more resilient in the face of challenges, able to bounce back more quickly from setbacks, and you might find that you're more open to positive experiences and opportunities. One important thing to remember is that letting go of negativity doesn't mean ignoring real problems or always forcing yourself to be positive. It's about finding a balance, acknowledging difficulties while not getting stuck in negative patterns. It's about processing emotions in a healthy way rather than suppressing them or letting them control you. Sometimes negativity can be a sign that something in our lives needs attention or change. For example, persistent negative feelings about a job might be a sign that it's time to look for new opportunities. The key is to use negativity as information rather than getting trapped in it. Ask yourself, what is this negative feeling trying to tell me? Is there something I need to address or change in my life? As you continue on your journey of spiritual growth, I encourage you to be patient and compassionate with yourself as you learn to let go of negativity. It's a skill that takes time to develop, but it's one that can truly transform your life. Remember, every time you choose to let go of a negative thought or feeling, you're creating space for something more positive to take its place. You're opening yourself up to new possibilities and a brighter, more fulfilling life. And here's a final thought to consider. Letting go of negativity isn't just good for you, it's good for everyone around you too. When you're less weighed down by negative thoughts and feelings, you're more able to be present for others, to offer kindness and compassion, and to contribute positively to the world around you. In this way, learning to let go of negativity is not just a personal practice, but a gift you give to the world. Now that we've explored ways to let go of negativity, let's talk about something really exciting: building positive habits. This is where we start to actively shape our lives in a way that supports our spiritual growth. Think of it like gardening. We've cleared away the weeds, negativity, and now we're ready to plant some beautiful flowers, positive habits. So what do we mean by positive habits? These are regular practices or behaviors that nourish our spiritual selves and contribute to our overall well-being. They're the things we do consistently that help us stay connected to our inner selves, maintain a positive outlook, and grow as individuals. The power of habits lies in their consistency. You see, our brains love routines. When we do something regularly, it becomes easier and more automatic over time. This means that by consciously choosing and cultivating positive habits, we can make spiritual growth a natural, integrated part of our daily lives. Now you might be thinking, that sounds great, but where do I start? Don't worry, we're going to keep it simple. Here are a few positive habits that can have a big impact on your spiritual growth. Daily reflection. Set aside a few minutes each day for quiet reflection. This could be in the morning when you wake up or in the evening before bed. Use this time to check in with yourself, review your day, and set intentions. You might ask yourself questions like, what am I grateful for today? What did I learn? How can I grow tomorrow? Mindful breathing. Practice taking a few deep, mindful breaths several times throughout your day. This simple habit can help center you, reduce stress, and keep you connected to the present moment. Acts of kindness. Make it a habit to perform at least one small act of kindness each day. This could be as simple as offering a sincere compliment, helping a co-worker with a task, or sending an encouraging message to a friend. Acts of kindness not only benefit others, but also boost our own sense of well-being and connection. Nature. Connection. Spend some time each day connecting with nature, even if it's just for a few minutes. This could be taking a short walk outside, tending to a houseplant, or simply sitting by a window and observing the sky. Nature has a way of grounding us and putting things into perspective. Learning and growth. Dedicate some time each day to learning or personal growth. This could be reading a few pages of an inspirational book, listening to a podcast on personal development, or practicing a new skill. Continuous learning keeps our minds open and helps us evolve. Remember, the key to building habits is to start small and be consistent. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. Instead, choose one or two habits to focus on and make them as easy as possible to do. For example, if you want to start a daily reflection practice, you might begin with just 1 minute each day. As it becomes more natural, you can gradually increase the time. It's also important to be patient and kind with yourself as you're building new habits. There will likely be days when you forget or don't feel like doing your new habit. That's completely normal. The important thing is not to be perfect, but to keep coming back to your practice. Each time you return to your habit after missing a day, you're actually strengthening your commitment and building resilience. As you start to incorporate these positive habits into your life, you might be surprised at how they start to ripple out into other areas. You might find that you're more patient with others, more creative in your work, or more at peace with yourself. These habits create a foundation for ongoing spiritual growth and positive change in your life. As we continue on our journey of spiritual growth, it's important to remember that we don't walk this path alone. Connecting with others is a crucial part of our spiritual development. In fact, our relationships can be one of our greatest teachers and sources of growth. When we talk about spiritual connections with others, we're not just talking about finding people who share the same beliefs or practices as us, although that can be valuable too. We're talking about deepening our connections with all the people in our lives, family, friends, co-workers, and even strangers we meet in passing. You see, every interaction we have with another person is an opportunity for spiritual growth. It's a chance to practice compassion, to learn about different perspectives, to challenge our own assumptions, and to experience the fundamental interconnectedness of all beings. But in our modern world, truly connecting with others can sometimes feel challenging. We're often busy, distracted, or caught up in our own thoughts and worries. So how can we deepen our connections and use our relationships as a path for spiritual growth? Here are a few ideas. Practice active listening. Next time you're in a conversation, try to give the other person your full attention. Instead of thinking about what you're going to say next, really focus on understanding what they're saying. This kind of deep listening can create a powerful sense of connection and understanding. Show empathy. Try to put yourself in other people's shoes, even when it's difficult. When someone is sharing a problem or a challenging experience, resist the urge to immediately offer solutions. Instead, try to understand and acknowledge their feelings. Be authentic. Allow yourself to be genuine in your interactions. Share your true thoughts and feelings in an appropriate way, of course. This kind of authenticity can encourage others to open up as well, leading to deeper, more meaningful connections. Practice forgiveness. Relationships aren't always smooth sailing. When conflicts or misunderstandings arise, practice forgiveness, both for others and for yourself. Remember, forgiveness doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior, but rather freeing yourself from the burden of resentment. Express gratitude. Regularly express appreciation for the people in your life. Let them know what you value about them. This not only strengthens your relationships, but also helps you cultivate a grateful mindset. Seek to understand. When you encounter someone with different beliefs or values, approach the situation with curiosity rather than judgment. Try to understand their perspective, even if you don't agree with it. This can lead to profound insights and personal growth. Be present. When you're with others, try to be fully present. Put away your phone, let go of distractions, and really engage in the moment. This kind of presence can transform ordinary interactions into meaningful connections. Remember, spiritual growth isn't just about what happens when we're alone in meditation or reflection. It's about how we show up in the world and how we interact with others. Each interaction is an opportunity to practice kindness, to learn something new, to challenge our assumptions, and to grow. As you focus on deepening your connections with others, you might start to notice some changes. You might find that your relationships become more satisfying and meaningful. You might discover that you're more patient and understanding with others. And you might start to feel a greater sense of interconnectedness with the world around you. This sense of connection is at the heart of many spiritual traditions. It's the recognition that we're not isolated individuals, but part of a larger whole. As we deepen our connections with others, we often find that the boundaries between self and other start to blur. We begin to understand on a deep level that what affects one of us affects all of us. As we come to the end of our journey exploring how to change your life spiritually, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've covered. We've talked about understanding what spiritual change really means, the power of our beliefs in shaping our reality, and the importance of connecting with our inner selves. We've explored the transformative practices of mindfulness and gratitude, learned about letting go of negativity, and discovered the power of building positive habits. Finally, we've discussed the crucial role that our connections with others play in our spiritual growth. Remember, spiritual change isn't about reaching some perfect state or following a set of rigid rules. It's about growing, evolving, and becoming more aware of ourselves and the world around us. It's about living with more intention, more compassion, and more connection. As you continue on your spiritual journey, be patient and kind with yourself. Growth isn't always linear. There will be ups and downs, steps forward, and steps back. That's all part of the process. The important thing is to keep showing up, keep practicing, and keep opening yourself to new possibilities. Start small. Maybe you begin with just a few minutes of mindfulness practice each day, or by noting 3 things you're grateful for before bed. Maybe you choose one negative habit to work on letting go of, or one positive habit you want to cultivate. Whatever you choose, remember that small, consistent steps can lead to big changes over time. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. We're all connected, all growing and learning together. Your growth doesn't just benefit you, it ripples out into the world, affecting everyone you interact with in ways you might not even realize. So as you go forward from here, I encourage you to stay curious, stay open, and keep exploring. Your journey of spiritual growth is uniquely yours, and it has the power to transform not just your life, but the world around you. Trust in your inner wisdom, be kind to yourself and others, and remember that every moment is an opportunity for growth and connection. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of spiritual change. May your journey be filled with discovery, growth, and joy. Remember, the power to change your life spiritually has been within you all along. Now, it's time to let that power shine.